Welcome back. I missed you, those 2 seconds that we were on commercial. But welcome back. You are watching The Trend. Osoro's ready with some of the tweets about the meme challenge. I can't wait to see what it is that you came up with. Plus, we also want to read about where you're from, where you're watching the show from, rather, and who you're hanging out with tonight as you check out the show. If you could send us a video with the hashtag Hermina, that would be so cool. You just telling us, I'm so-and-so, I'm with so-and-so, and we're watching the show. We are in Ruiru, we are in Mombasa, we are in Kisumu, wherever you are, please rep your hood and tell us. We would love to play all of those clips. Now, right now, we are about to talk about a brand new show. It started 2 weeks ago and it's called The Best Of. Now, Best Of is a show that's going to be showcasing and highlighting the best of Kenyan everything. I'm talking entertainment, manufacturing, restaurants, just pretty much everything that is just incredible about our country. It is going to be showcased on this show, hosted by Yafesi Musoke. It was created by Eugine Mbugua, CEO, founder, the brains behind TNR Studios. They have so many other shows under their belt. He's going to be telling us more about that. Yafesi is in studio as well to talk to us about the show. But before we even talk about it, take a look.
On this episode, we feature the best of studios. One has produced music for a Grammy-winning artist.
We did Burna Boy. We did overdubs for his record that won that Grammy.
The other one is so sophisticated, it can hold a band of 32, all recording in different rooms of the studio.
This desk over here, it's called a Neve.
Neve Genesis.
Yes. It's a 32-channel desk.
This is the best of studios.
So like I said, it'll be the best of pretty much everything. And here they are to tell us more about the show. Hey, guys.
Hi.
First of all, welcome to the NTV family.
Thank you.
We are also the best of the best of the best when it comes to
But of
TV.
course.
So I like that you want to rock with the best. Eugene, Yafesi, how have you been, guys?
Very good, very
Yeah?
good. It's been a while.
It has been
Good
a
to see you.
while. It has been a while, but then I saw you at Because You Said So.
Ah, yes.
So I saw the things that you were doing on stage.
Oh, I'm so sorry
And
about that.
why are you apologizing?
No, I think
Yeah.
I know what you saw on stage.
But you know, it's because when people meet you, when they don't know who you are, they cannot tell that your character can switch up and turn into a whole cartoon.
Thank you. I am not always like that.
He is a lot like that. He's a lot like that. But on stage, you just light up. You really, really do.
Yes, I do.
Eugene, you've done quite a bit.
We keep busy.
Goodness, I see. Where's the summer at ni Mungu ni yako ni ile ya we're doing well. It's it is what it is. No, hamujaribu. You're doing the damn thing. You're not working on how many shows?
I think currently we have about 13 TV shows in total that across all the different platforms. Yes.
This is TV?
Yes, TV. We have Young Rich, Get in the Kitchen, Foods of Kenya, Story Yangu, Our Perfect Wedding, Soul Family, This Love. It's a bunch. It's a whole portfolio.
Yeah, and you sort of like owned the reality TV space. Was that intentional or did it just so happened?
So yeah, it was intentional to some degree. We started in 2013. And at the time, there was, we do both documentary and reality, and at the time there was not much on TV, and we got into that space for a couple of reasons. Number one was because it was easy access. You know, when you do scripted TV shows, you have to have a cast, so cost of entry is a bit higher. So we entered because it was, you know, an opportunity we saw. Then over time, we just specialized. We did more and more of it, so we became better at it. And I think now we control the market on that front.
You really do. You really. How did that? Where did you meet one another? How did this?
It was a phone call, and then suddenly I'm in front of a camera, like a space.
Oh wait, there was no
In
casting.
12 hours.
In
There
less
was
than,
no-
actually, the casting apparently from the brief I got, the casting had been happening for the past I don't know how many years of my life. So they've been watching me and seeing like, oh, this guy, that gap in his teeth works well for conversation. And so
For
they-
the space that we're trying to.
and then the hair is low maintenance. This is the guy we're looking for. Yeah. And then they asked if I can speak English.
He's easy on makeup and styling.
clearly he's easy on makeup. Actually, because he has no hair, low maintenance. Oh gosh. But you know that's very stalkerish that you guys were just watching him for years. Let me just say that right now.
So just to explain it a bit better, one of our partners, Monique Magaria, You know, he's been a big fan of his, and I've gone to a lot of his shows as well. And we've shot an earlier version of this show a few years back. And so when we were looking at hosts, he came up in a boardroom via Moniki, who had a lot of belief in him. And I think we called him up the next day. He showed up to the office at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. the next morning.
Yes.
We had a half-hour meeting,
Yes.
and we knew it was chemistry. And I think we were shooting the next day.
The next morning, I was in front of the camera.
So it was love at first sight.
Love at first sight.
That's exactly what it was.
Love at
It was
first scene.
love at first see.
Yeah.
Was TV ever an interest for you? Because I know radio was.
Radio was, and that one kind of just happened fortuitously because someone Skyped a recording, and then I had to record it, and then someone's like, "You sound like this guy who needs to go and leave. Why don't you sit in for him?" And that's how it ended
You
up.
sat in forever.
Yeah. And then now TV, actually growing up, I never thought I'd be on TV. Especially when the hairline started saying, you know what, we're done. It's been real.
Adios.
And then the teeth, you know, the one side is not exactly symmetrical to the other. And I was like, do people actually accept that? But it seems my face is relatable. And also the facial expressions. I started getting a lot of attention to my facial expressions. And that's how I ended up in adverts and a whole bunch of things. People didn't give me speaking roles. They just wanted me to make funny faces. And then now, all of a sudden, the radio, because I was able to kind of fine-tune my voice a little, just a little. It used to be much worse. And then now you combine that with an okay face that we can work with. And so now suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm on TV.
And the puns.
Or the puns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still get a few slaps from the crew for those. But yeah, we're working on the puns.
Why is it that people who deliver puns just deliver them all day? Like they don't know when to stop. Whether it's something
obsession.
serious, whether it's a joke, whether it's in a song, you're like, bro, just, we know you're funny. We get it. We get it. We really do. But he is very funny. He's very humble. And so I know he will not be the one to toot his own horn. But he does have, you know, quite a long, when it comes to the work that he's done to show how entertaining he is, he does have that, right?
He does.
So how has he been on the show?
He's amazing. I think we filmed almost 8 episodes now. So Best Of is a celebration of everything that's excellent about Kenya. So we are celebrating outstanding bits of every industry, from hospitality to manufacturing, as you mentioned. I think one of the episodes we're coming up is the best of schools, the best of restaurants, the best of classic cars.
Recreation, real estate.
Yes.
And it's particularly important in an election year because, you know, we often tend to forget what a beautiful space we have here and what a beautiful community Kenya is. And so Yafesi has done a fantastic job because he's able to infuse humor in there while at the same time celebrating these excellent spaces and professions. And so we're about 8 episodes in.
Yeah.
We have a whole year contract with NTV, so we anticipate that we'll produce about 52 episodes in the next 1 year. And we have all kinds of exciting industries, and we are hoping to also sign on a bunch of other corporate clients so that we can also celebrate, you know, the best of banking, the best of insurance, and so on and so forth. So he's been amazing, and we're looking forward to more performances from him.
I like that you're already thinking of how we're going to monetize this show.
Yes.
What are we going to do? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the money, honey. It's just this money you have to talk. So you've shot about 8 of them. Which one has been your favorite so far, whether it's aired or not?
Wow. I have jumped off a cliff so far. Yes, and been pummeled by a waterfall. Without a helmet, that waterfall can give you a concussion, but we were safe, don't worry about that. But my favorite has been, I think, the one where I got to prepare a meal, like a gourmet meal. It was raw, but because I don't think they trusted me with fire. But it was actually really, I made the kingfish ceviche dish. Where? I'm even starting to talk high and
fancy.
mighty. Yeah. So that was one of my favorite because I made it and then I got to taste it. So I participated in something, and then I think just generally my favorite part is hearing people's passions. When they talk, people talk from the heart. Some of them get really carried away and they keep going. But once you tap into someone's passion, you'd be amazed at the diversity of things that people get passionate about.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's really been exciting to meet all these different people.
That is very true. Some people are interested in cars, some are interested in, you know, the entertainment side of things. Some people are interested even in production. So let's talk about production, DNR. How was it? I mean, on the other end, as you prepare the stories, the scripts, and find out about the industries, how was that like? And how do you zero down and say, this is the one we want to focus on and shoot?
So
for now?
for starters, it's interesting how TV shows, how they come alive, because a lot of these concepts for us at DNR Studios, there's concepts we create and they take years to go on TV, and this is one of them. I think the concept first came to us about 4 years ago. We shot a series that didn't go anywhere until now, 4 years later, it's on TV. Now, the choice of industries is purely driven by audiences' needs. So we're constantly thinking, what is relatable stuff to you? First of all, we want to share with you the possibilities of what is available in Kenya, as well as relatable material. So as you go onto the show, you'll be seeing the best of cancer treatment, for instance, because, you know, in as much as we're celebrating excellence, we also want to be to give you useful information. You will have the best of schools, because if you're a parent, you want to know if you're taking your kid to Alliance, why is it the best? What are the things that make the students there excel? So we want to make this a very useful show, not just a celebration of just fancy and expensive stuff, but also useful information for day-to-day living. So that's what is dictating the choice of genre, not really genres, but categories, so to speak.
Yeah, best of classic cars?
Oh, I rode in a Bentley
Look at you.
that had a Rolls-Royce engine.
Fancy.
Hey, I can't be touched.
You can't. You're not like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You're different. We should address you as Sir. Sir Yafesi.
Oh my goodness, that one was really interesting because, you know, we're used to getting into cars and starting them. This one is a tutorial for starting it, not driving, starting it. There are things you have to turn so that the fuel is pumped by gravity, and then you choke it, like the choker, the one on the steering wheel. So yeah, so that's the one you put on, and then you start it, and then you have the rev counter and all that. I was like, this is a manual car, proper manual car, and the power, it's a trip.
Yeah.
And you had a car from out of Africa as well.
The car from out of Africa, the one with Meryl Streep and Robert Redford.
Hello.
So for the younger ones, Meryl Streep and Robert Redford were like before Zendaya and the other.
Before Will Smith
Before,
and I Can Actually Rock.
way before. Yeah.
He existed
Yeah, so,
a long time ago. Oh yes, you said Zendaya. I like it. You were like, just so that you know, there were others who came before. Others who came before. And then there was also, I think, urban eateries when you were talking about restaurants. Why urban eateries, and what did you learn?
First of all, you know, it's just generally how we behave. On the weekend, guys are saying, I can't wait for the weekend, I can't wait for the weekend. Then you do the same thing you did the last 17 weekends. So we go to a fancy restaurant and say, mkona chips, na kuku. So here, the urban eateries, one of the things is the cultural backgrounds that were informing the foods. We even had food, so we're told, okay, this is Mexican cooking. But we're like, okay, how would we know what Mexican cooking is until you're told the Mexican ambassador approved of it. It's like it reminded you of home. This is how it's made at home. And so you're like, hey, okay, this is actual cultural, international cuisine being brought here, approved by people from those countries, and it's right here in Kenya. And so, of course, anything worth having, because usually people are like, oh, fancy food, aye, but how much does it cost? And then they start the question with kwani. Have you ever had a question that starts with kwani that ends positively?
No. That's so true.
Anything worth...
Kwani, they think now we are going to blah, blah, blah.
Anything worth having or worth, you know, worth experiencing is worth planning for. So that's the thing. The whole thing is not just that we jump in there every single weekend, but you have an experience this weekend. Next weekend's a different experience, and you plan for them so that you have memories, and also you get exposed to how other people do stuff. It's not just ugali and managu every day or chips and chicken and all. There's a whole world of food that we probably know nothing about.
Yes.
Until we watch Best Of.
And I think something that a lot of people don't know is just how metropolitan Nairobi really is. You know, we're very welcoming to so many different nationalities, but you're right, every weekend is the same thing and the same 3 clubs, and that's the plan. That is the big plan for the weekend. Has it opened you up to different ideas and things you can do with a loved one, with your friends?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yes, plenty.
Okay.
Especially, there's some that are very family-oriented, but people didn't know that they're family-oriented, including places like golf clubs. So or gyms. There are gyms that are child-friendly, not these other ones where it's cement that is just left for, so children are not even allowed. But the gyms that actually format that for kids and for whether it's training or just exercise, running around. And there are sports clubs where the children learn professional sports. It's not just they're splashing around the water. By the end of it, they're professional swimmers. They could compete for Kenya at the Olympics or the Commonwealth Games or whatever it is. So there's so much going on around us, and you get shocked sometimes. You're like, we have too little time and so much information. Please just pack it for me so that I carry it.
I love it. My 8-year-old son wants abs, so I'll bring him to that gym. I'll kid-friendly gym. Now, Eugene, before I let you guys go, when does the show air? When does it come on?
The show premiere airs on Sunday, 8 p.m. on NTV. And as I mentioned, we're going to be all year long for the next 52 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'd love for you to join us.
Alrighty. Now, before I do say goodbye, DNR, what other shows are you working on now that you can tell us about? So far, you've said you have 13 shows. There's Wahoo and Nameless, their love story, the Soul Generation, which we enjoyed. We got to see a different side of Sauti Soul. You're the one who started off being Bahati, and their Bahatis have now become a whole... They have become the Kardashians of reality in Kenya. So that was a wonderful show. Of course, there was Young Rich that people knew from back then. What can you talk about now?
So currently we have a bunch of different shows going on. We have our Perfect Wedding, we have our 5th anniversary, we have the Best Of, which is here right here on NTV. We have a very exciting reality show coming up with Betty Chalo, Mercy, and Gloria, the Chalo sisters, in about 2 months.
Hey, wait, you can't just talk about that real quick. You said what show with Betty Chalo and who?
Chalo Culture.
Chalo Culture.
So we have Betty Chalo, Gloria, and Mercy, and it delves into their life story. So we have about 13 episodes coming up in June, July. We also have a stand-up show coming up with Stand-Up Collective, which promises to be very exciting. We do also have, well, I don't know if I should be saying too much. We have an international format coming up later in the year. But yeah, so we have a lot of exciting stuff releasing all through. But the next one should be the Chalo Culture.
That is so cool. Shout out to Betty. People would want to watch Betty Chalo's reality show. People would be so interested. Glued to the TV, you know, because her personal life somehow has become such an interest to so many people. So that would be really cool to see. And I can't wait to find out what international program you've got coming up.
And by the way, we might have Soul Family season 3 coming right here on NTV.
Oh, really? Welcome again to the best of TV stations. Okay, well, thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Thank you so much, Yafesi. Congratulations on the show. You are well deserving of that spot. No one could be more funnier on the show. And he's so knowledgeable, so smart, such just a ball of fun. Eugene, congratulations on everything. So here's to clearly a very big, successful 2022. Some of us are wondering what's going to happen. Clearly, someone here has sorted out his Olia until December. He's ready. Now, the hashtag, like we said, is Hey Amina Osoro. I know you're ready to read some tweets before we have our next guest.
Amina.
So what are people saying?